As I mentioned before, my name is Lavinia, and I will be moderating this event on behalf of Docsity. So, of course, we will have a presentation of the portfolio of masters in finance at EDHEC before, and afterwards you will have access to a Q&A session. So if you have any questions about the programs, about the admission process, about the student life, please feel free to type in the Q&A box and we'll be happy to take your questions after the presentation. Now, without further ado, I would like to introduce Laurent Deville. He's the academic director for the Masters in Finance at EDHEC. Laurent, welcome, and thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome, and very happy to be here to present the portfolio of Masters in Finance that we offer at EDHEC to all the participants and possible, hopefully, candidates in our programs.
Thank you so much. And as a side note, while we are waiting for everyone to connect, as I mentioned, if you are already interested in a specific program, feel free to type in the chat where you are connecting from and which master in finance are you interested in. And we can take up the conversation afterwards in the Q&A session. So I just wanted to mention that a student testimonial will join us, and he will speak more about his experience at EDHEC as a freshly graduated student also in financial engineering, but more about that later on. And now I would like to leave the floor to Laurent. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Lavinia. So first, I would like to introduce myself very briefly. I'm Laurent Deville. I'm professor of finance at EDHEC. My field of expertise lies in the world of index products and more specifically exchange-traded funds. This is what I do in terms of research. I'm also a professor, so I'm teaching. I'm teaching in the programs that I'm going to present you now. I'm teaching specifically a derivatives course, but I'm also teaching programming courses. And part of my life is dedicated to being academic director of these programs. I've been doing that for the last 4 years, and I'm very happy, very glad to do that job. I meet amazing students every year, and I can see them blossoming into highly successful careers in finance, and that makes me extremely happy and proud. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to share my screen. We're going to start with a presentation of the programs. So I'm going to have a short presentation of the programs. And then afterwards, I'm going to move on to a discussion with a current student, Eduardo Valsetti, who is going to join us. He is currently, he should have finished now defending his master thesis, and he will very soon graduate from the MSc in Financial Engineering. Wow, amazing. Eduardo, you arrived right in time. I was just saying that I hope that you have successfully defended your master thesis, and that we will be able to have you as a graduate from the MSc in Financial Engineering very soon.
Yeah, thank you. Hope to say.
Okay, now I'm going to present the programs. So that's going to be a little bit the tedious part that I want you to all to have some information about what we do at EDHEC, and then for you to grasp a little bit better, I'm gonna discuss with Eduardo how things have been going on for him personally, and then we can take on questions. So well, the idea was to say, well, why do we consider that we are offering the best choice for a master in finance? And first I'm going to say a few words about EDHEC, and then I'm going to present the Masters in Finance portfolio, then the discussion with Eduardo, a few questions about admissions at EDHEC, and then a Q&A session. So first, before I talk about the Masters in Finance, I would like to talk a little bit about the EDHEC Business School. EDHEC Business School is one of the top business schools in Europe. The Financial Times in 2022 considered that well, we're 7th place in Europe as a business school, and we offer a full suite of business and management programs that goes from the bachelor in management to the PhD in finance, and in between you have master in business management, masters in finance, and also the MSCs that we're going to present. We rank particularly high, 5th in the world for the MSc in Finance, considered by the Financial Times 2022. And also the finance track is part of the Master in Management that has been ranked in the top 12 in the FT 2022. We have other, I think, key points. One of the key insight is that the career services in France have been ranked first. So the career service at EDHEC has been ranked first in terms of career services for students in France. And I think this is really important. All the programs are, and the schools are accredited. We have EQUIS, AACSB, AMBA, CEFDG accreditation, which means that we offer a master degree that is an official French master degree and not only a school diploma. EDHEC Business School is located mostly in Lille and Nice. These are the two main campuses. We also have a campus in Paris downtown, and executive campuses in London and Singapore. Our students come from many different nationalities, and we have lots of exchange program and partnership with academic institutions amongst the top worldwide. A third of our students are granted a scholarship, and 35% of our students are from overseas. So I would like to give you an idea of how diverse EDHEC is in terms of an institution. Now, if we think about Nice, this is the view that you would have on a daily basis. And I think, Eduardo, you can say that this is true. We are not lying. And today, this is exactly what you would see, not exactly from my office. I still have a sea view, but that is smaller than that. From room 530, you would have exactly this view. The business school is located on Promenade des Anglais, and this is at walking distance from the airport, and you have the tramway that takes you downtown Nice within 10 to 15 minutes. So you are 10 minutes walk from the airport, 5-minute walk from the train station, 1-minute walk from the tramway station. This is where we stand, and this is where we deliver the courses. And well, I think if you want to take a swim in the sea, in the Mediterranean Sea that you see a little bit there, that would be a 20 to 20 minutes walk, and well, 5 minutes by tramway, something like that. Now let's talk about academia. I talked about the school. I would like to talk about the programs. So you have two ways to follow a master degree at EDHEC. The first way would to enter in a 2 to 3 years program, which is the Master in Management with Finance Specialization, the so-called MIM, Master in Management program. In first year, you would go into the fundamentals of finance, first academic year. Second year, you go to what we call professional immersion. You have internships that provide you with 1 full year of work experience. And then you come back to EDHEC for a full year of specialization, and in topics that are mostly corporate finance, sustainable and climate finance, quantitative finance, and financial accounting. And we're going to talk about that later on. The other option, if you consider that you already have the proper background and professional experience, would be to go directly for a specialized master degree and to enter in one of the MSCs in both programs. So that would be 1 full year of academic education plus 4 to 6 months of internship at the end of the program. Both options have pros and cons. And so maybe, Eduardo, we're going to discuss those options later on and say, what is best suitable for you? You have to think about that. You know that you want to do finance. You have to look at your own file and say, what will allow me to realize my objectives? And depending on your profile, either the Master in Management or the MSc path is going to allow you to realize this objective fully or with more difficulties. So everything is delivered on the Nice campus, but for a few courses that we deliver on the London campus for the MSc in Financial Engineering in the near future. And the language, this is fully in English. Everything takes place in English on this campus. We have some French students, we have some international students, but the way you would exchange with the administration and the way you would exchange with professors would be fully in English unless you want to speak another language. We have professors speaking Spanish, we have professors speaking Russian, we have professors speaking Italian as a mother tongue, but everything is done naturally in English. So the type of diploma that you're going to get is twofold. You get an official master degree, French grad master degree. This is the so-called Programme Grande École. And on top of that, you would get a specialized MSc degree if you go for the MIM. If you go for the MSc, you get an official master degree that is not the Programme Grande École, but the so-called Diplôme spécialisé en finance de marché des entreprises. Since this is a French degree, this is said in French, you get a master degree and you get a specialization that is the school diploma. Now, first year, foundation year. This is what you will go through. Lots of finance, some management courses. You have the management toolkit because we are delivering a master in management that will allow you to really have a broad overview of finance, of the financial industry, and the academic content that will be necessary to thrive in the industry. So first, managerial toolkits. We are a business school, we teach managers. So you have courses in managerial skills, course in strategic management, and macro theory. This is important to understand the environment as it is. Then we have quantitative tools, Excel, financial econometrics. For now, that was delivered in R. From next year on, that's going to be delivered in Python. So that's going to be financial econometrics with Python. VBA or Excel, Python. These are the languages that we speak at EDHEC. And then you also have access to a MOOC that is Introduction to Portfolio Construction and Analysis with Python, okay? So you put your skills at hand in these courses, technical skills. Then we have a block of fundamentals of corporate finance, principles of finance, financial analysis valuation, corporate governance, cost accounting, and managerial control. This is the block corporate finance, and we have a block market finance, portfolio construction, fixed income, derivatives. On top of that, it's important to be able to project yourself in the future. We are delivering courses on climate finance and courses on fintech. The world is changing. Let's adapt to that world. And then you have a few electives to pick up to personalize your path at EDHEC, and you can specialize even more in programming, even more in market finance, even more in corporate finance, depending on your taste or depending on your willingness to widen your perspectives. This is the first year. And then you move on to professional immersion. You build your professional immersion. Often it takes the form of 2 internships of 6 months. Sometimes students take a full job for a full year abroad in the financial industry or with a financial perspective. The idea is to exploit the competencies that you have learned during the M1. And then you come back to EDHEC and you say, well, now what do I want to specialize in? You can specialize in climate change sustainable finance. This is done in partnership with a top French engineering school that is called Mines Paris PSL, that has a campus close to the Nice campus of EDHEC, that is at 30 minutes by public transportation, 1 semester in the engineering school, 1 semester at EDHEC, and you get this double diploma, Master in Management, MS in Climate Change and Sustainable Finance from EDHEC, plus the diploma from Mines Paris PSL on Sustainable Finance. Then you can specialize in accounting and finance. You can specialize in corporate finance and banking. You can specialize in financial engineering, depending on your capacities, depending on your career perspectives, and depending on what you want to do, in a sense. So this is our portfolio of MSCs. Instead of going directly to instead of taking the full Master in Management offer, you can restrict yourself to the specialization. You already have the core financial competencies. You already have some previous professional experience in the financial industry. You just need a specialization. You can apply directly to an MSc. MSc Corporate Finance and Banking, MSc Financial Engineering, MSc Accounting and Finance, MSc Climate Change and Sustainable Finance, double degree with Mines Paris PSL, or the MSc in International Finance, which is a generalist program in finance for those who want to reorient their career. They've been doing law, they've been doing statistics, they've been doing engineering. They want to reorient to finance. This is a good way to reorient to finance. You will have both corporate finance and market finance perspective in this program. So you will have slides, and these slides are going to stay available. We present the different MSCs that exist. These are the specializations. If you want to specialize in the MS in corporate finance and banking, this is a program that is sponsored by Société Générale. And it gives you the corporate finance and the investment banking perspective. So you have core modules that are the advanced courses in every topic: advanced corporate finance, M&A, corporate treasury management, financial and credit analysis, sustainable finance within a corporate finance perspective. And to that, you add personalized elective that allow you to fine-tune your path toward the job that you want to do in the future. Which kind of career do you want to pursue? Any career in the investment banking, corporate finance, you can have it after the MSc in corporate finance and banking. So we're talking financial analyst, M&A analyst, private equity, investment banking, structured finance. All these things are achievable after the MSc in corporate finance and banking. MSc financial engineering, the one MSc that Eduardo selected at EDHEC is more quantitative finance, market finance perspective. So the courses will turn around asset pricing, fixed income, derivatives, machine learning and programming, risk management, sustainable finance with a market finance perspective, and asset management. Okay, you will have three possible concentrations: one in investment solutions, one in quantitative trading, one in alternative assets. Which career? All careers in quantitative and market finance are open after this very selective MSc. This is the one that is ranked 5th around the world as MSc in finance. Key recruiters, all the banks where you would find a trading floor, all the banks where you would find structured product offer, all the institutions that are building on these quantitative skills to offer services and to offer products. MSc in Accounting and Finance, sponsored by PwC, is really at the heart of corporate financial decision. And the core modules: international accounting, M&A, advanced financial accounting, audit and internal control, sustainable finance from a financial accounting perspective. All these things come together to build you careers as financial controller, auditors, analysts, and in the transaction services, financial planning analyst, structured finance analyst. You would see all the Mazars, EY, PwC as recruiters, but also the big investment banks recruit from this MSc. MSc Climate Change, Sustainable Finance. Here we have a very niche perspective. The niche perspective is climate change. Climate is changing, and we need the financial industry to propose solutions, not only to mitigate the issue, but to try to solve the issue. So if we consider at EDHEC that finance is at the heart of the change. You saw in the previous slides that sustainable finance is delivered in all programs, and Eduardo may talk about it, the way we've been discussing sustainable finance in the MSc in Financial Engineering. But this is more focused on this perspective, the energy transition. How are we transitioning from the current world to a more sustainable world with the help of the financial industry? So the engineering school Mines Paris PSL is going to deliver an engineering perspective on climate change and say which are the technologies that we should follow in the future to solve that problem. And the EDHEC will deliver you the financial perspective. how is the financial industry going to take its part in that transition? So you will do a little bit of physics, then climate change economics, then this kind of transition perspective, and then you have all the classic sustainable finance course, risk, the climate risk in finance, and all these things are going to be delivered. We already had 2 cohorts of this program. The students are placing themselves amazingly, which is not a surprise. There is a huge demand for this type of profile. These students are going to be experts in the climate change. We have all the other students who also have some expertise in sustainable finance, and so who may also get this position that include some ESG components, some energy components. Okay, but here you have more focus. So the key recruiters, I had BlackRock, McKinsey, BNP, Crédit Agricole, Société Générale, World Bank. This is where we placed our students in the past year and this year. MSc in International Finance is going to provide the 360-degree view on corporate and market finance we were talking about. And it closely follows the CFA curriculum. So this is program partner of CFA Institute. Core modules, corporate finance, market finance. And then you have 2 specialized tracks. If you want to specialize in corporate finance, we'll dig deeper into some derivatives and machine learning questions. If you want to specialize more in corporate finance, we'll dig deeper into the M&A world and the financial analysis world. This is how we deliver that. The type of career, everything is available. You have the broad perspective. So you just have to sell yourself, and we will help you do that. What are the prerequisites and criteria? For the MIM finance, what do you need? You need strong appetite for numbers. Doesn't mean that you need to be a mathematician or a statistician. This is not what I mean. But you need to be comfortable with playing with data. You need to be comfortable to be playing with numbers. And you need to have a very strong appetite for finance, but because believe me, you will have lots of finance classes and finance projects over the 2 years of the program. Now, I add professionalism. Well, I think this is not necessary to say so, but yes, indeed. We expect our students to act as professionals from the first day on. For the MSc, you need all these skills, plus for accounting and finance, you need some background in financial accounting. For corporate finance and banking, you need background in corporate finance and financial analysis. For financial engineering, strong quantitative skills, background in fixed income, derivatives, portfolio management, and econometrics. International finance, the best is to come with quantitative skills, and then we're going to do the rest. Climate change, sustainable finance, some fundamentals in physics, engineering, or finance are going to be required. Plus, for this program to be a success for you, you need some professional experience. Without professional experience, your career is going to be lagging a little bit with respect to master in management students. I don't say this is not feasible. I say this is not the preferred way, and we're going to discuss that. So, well, now, Eduardo, I've been talking a lot, and I'm sorry for that. What I would like to have the student's perspective, because the candidates that we have here may consider that I'm talking and just saying that we are the best offers. Now let's try to see whether this is the case with you, Eduardo, whether you still consider that was the best choice, that you made the best choice when you decided to enter EDHEC. So maybe you can introduce yourself in a few words, and then I move on. I'm going to ask you a few questions.
Yes, sure. Thank you, Laurent, and thank you, Lavinia, for having me today. And welcome to all of you. I'm really happy to be here. As you probably can understand from my name, I am from Italy. I got my bachelor degree in economics and management at Bocconi University in 2019. And then I decided to move to EDHEC. Well, at the time, I took a gap year between my bachelor degree and my master degree, where I worked for a couple of months in the US. And then, unfortunately, the COVID-19 arrived, as we all know, and I decided to go back to Italy. At the time, I was looking for like a real international program. That's why I applied to EDHEC, and where I started my academic career in 2020. And yeah, I decided after my foundation year, as Laurent, I enrolled at the Grande École program, so 2-year program plus the professional gap year in the middle. And I decided to, after the first foundation year, I decided to do both the academic exchange and then the internship. So I worked both in Luxembourg in a private bank, and then in London in an investment bank. And then last year, finally, I decided to enroll in the Master in Financial Engineering, where I hope I will graduate in. Today was my last day, so I will graduate in a couple of days. And yeah, that's pretty much it about my for my introduction.
So Eduardo, can you tell me why you selected EDHEC? So I hear that you said, well, I want a truly international perspective. I was Italian. That was at the best possible institution in Italy, and then I moved on to EDHEC. Why so?
Yeah, sure. Well, first of all, I think that the completeness of the Grande École program of EDHEC is really like a game changer with respect to other masters, to other academic experiences all around Europe, but all around the world. Because when I was deciding between the master's application, I thought, okay, it's really, really cool to have like a foundation year at the beginning where I can get experience, improve my knowledge both on the market side and the corporate finance side. Then the professional immersion year, where I basically work in 2 very different environments, as I had a chance to work both on in a market related role and in a more let me call it corporate finance related role, as I worked in an investment banking boutique in London. And then EDHEC gave me the possibility to specialize and to, throughout the 3 years of the Grande École, deciding and knowing, okay, that's what I wanted to do in my life. Okay, that's what I don't want to do in my life. And so I think that's they like the combination between the international exposure of the EDHEC, but also the completeness of this 3 years program. It was what made me choosing EDHEC.
So would you consider that a success now? Now that
Yeah.
it's almost over. I'm about to say it's almost over.
Yes, it's almost over. No, as I will. It's not because I'm like an EDHEC student that I'm saying this. I'm not paid to tell you anything. So that's really something I want to be 100% honest and transparent. Choosing EDHEC was, I would say, one of the best idea of my entire life. Well, I'm still young, so so far one of the best, because I think that it's a real, well, there are many good aspects, many factors that I can mention, but above all, I would mention the international exposure, as I said, because I am like surrounded by a lot of different nationalities, people coming from all over the world. And this fact, I think that's enriched more than anything else, not only on a professional side, but more on a personal related side. Plus, the thing that the environment here at EDHEC is at the same time, it's competitive, but it's extremely collaborative. And I think that's definitely the best aspect of EDHEC. I mean, when you are probably in your shoes right now, choosing the master, you are not realizing how important is a collaborative environment in terms of people surrounding you and helping you in finding jobs, but also like in preparing for exams and in collaborate. Because at least from my perspective, when I was like a bachelor student, I thought that finance was just about competing with others for roles, but it's not just like that. I think when you join EDHEC, you realize that you have like a real collaborative environment when you develop like a strong network of people that can help you not only on the job, but on your everyday life, and plus you make a lot of friends at the end.
Okay, very good. So I would like to ask you a very personal question. What was your preferred course at EDHEC? So the answer would just be the introduction to derivatives, I say. That's the one that I teach, no? No. I'm just curious. So why would be over these 2 years of courses, what would be your best experience in a sense?
Okay, yeah, that's a really interesting question. Not an easy one, because there have been a few really interesting courses. I would mention investment solutions, which is a course like recently taught by Professor Bruno Tayarda, who he is the head of Smart Beta and factor investing at Amundi. For those of you who don't know this, Amundi is one of the biggest asset manager in the world, the biggest in Europe. And I want to mention it because it was really like a practical course, and that's I think that, let me mention, that is a real distinguished characteristic about EDHEC, the fact that the courses are actually made out of practice and they are applied. So we had the chance to deal with factor investing and to like move from the theory to practice and see how portfolios are actually built in practice on a day-to-day basis. Okay,
perfect. So we were talking about professional experience. So you said, well, my professional immersion year, I did first a semester of internship, and then I said, oh, that was the way. So first semester of exchange, then internship, and then you had your summer program at in London. Okay, yeah, this is what you have. So yeah. So did you benefited from the career center support to find this kind of professional immersion possibilities?
Yes, I think that definitely the career center here at EDHEC is a real good tool for us, but because we not only benefit from career opportunities that are sent to us on a daily basis by the career center, but also we are benefit from like workshops and events where we have the opportunity to, for example, I remember when I first joined EDHEC, I completely did from scratch both my CV and cover letters, which are really, really important, I think, from a practical perspective. So I think that's I definitely have benefited from career center activities throughout the years.
And I think one of the first things that you do when you join EDHEC in the first 2 weeks, maybe first 3 weeks, depending on the year, you have the finance career days.
Exactly.
So you start and you have 80 companies on campus discussing with students, receiving students, exchanging CVs, talking about positions and networking. So yes, maybe exactly. that was also game changing.
Yes, exactly. Finance career days are really, really important. Not only because of themselves, because you have the possibility to, first of all, know the companies if you don't, but it's quite common to know the companies before joining the finance career days. But it's really, really important, and that's something that the career centers always have stressed throughout the 3 years, is networking, the importance of networking. So being able to reach out to people that either comes to the Nice campus or they are that participates to webinars, to events, or that you can reach out to LinkedIn. So these type of events carried out by the career center are really, really important to teach us how to network properly, which let me say that is probably the most important thing in the financial world. One of them, yeah.
Just after the academic knowledge.
Yeah, I mean.
No, I'm talking as a professor, so I always go back to academia, but I think both are super important. Yeah. You need to have a network and you need to have the competencies. And I was discussing with very successful alumni, and what they say is that you need to invest in your network. This is super important. If you want to build a career, invest in your network. So maybe one last question, into the difference between the first year foundational year and the second year, the specialization year. Can you say a few things about the difference, possibly in terms of content, in terms of pedagogy, in terms of level of engagement that is required from students?
Yeah, sure. In the foundation year, as the name suggests, is all the students receive a complete set of subjects, of courses, touching all the aspects of finance. So from accounting to markets to corporate finance. So I think that the aim, the purpose of the foundation year is to bring all the students coming from different backgrounds to the same level in terms of like basic knowledge. And it's challenging because you have to do a lot of courses, but for some people it's just it can be a review of what has been already done during the bachelor degrees or during previous studies. But the purpose is to bring all the students to a common level. And then in the specialization year, as the name suggests, the courses are much more specialized towards one area of finance, financial markets for financial engineering, or corporate finance for the master in corporate and banking, or sustainability for the one in sustainable finance. So they are much more related to a specific area, and they go much more into a deeper analysis of a specific subject. Okay,
thank you very much, Eduardo. So before we move on to the Q&A, Lavinia, I would just say a few things about admission requirements and scholarships. So if you want to apply at EDHEC, and I hope that this session is gonna convince you that this is the best possible thing to do. There are a few admission requirements. You need a bachelor degree, pretty much any kind of background. More likely, what is preferred is background in engineering, economics, finance, mathematics, management, physics, environmental science and technology, but we also have students from other backgrounds. You have a CV in English, motivation letter in English. You need all your academic transcripts and degrees. You need to take an English proficiency test report unless your education was fully in English up to then. And then we recommend a very strong GMAT, JRE, or CFA level 2. You would have to add recommendation letters, and you will have an online interview to complete. So you can apply online via www.edec.edu and /English. We offer scholarships. We have scholarship offers for all types of students. Obviously, you have to apply before the deadline, and you see that there are different levels of scholarships and different kinds of scholarship depending on who you are. When you get in touch with international missions, don't hesitate to discuss the kind of scholarship you could look for. I don't say that all students get a scholarship. I say that initially all students are eligible for a scholarship, and we automatically consider all students for an EDHEC scholarship. That's, I think, what I wanted to say. What's next? Well, that's your decision. Will you apply or not? And Lavinia, maybe students have some questions to ask us.
Absolutely. Firstly, I wanted to thank Eduardo for his testimonial, and of course, congratulations are in order for defending his master's thesis. And of course, we do have a couple of questions. I would like to encourage all participants that may still have some questions about the master's portfolio or the student life, or even Eduardo's own experience, for example, to type in the Q&A box, and we'll be happy to take their questions. In the meantime, I will start from a question from Eduardo. One participant is asking if it ever happens that you did not pass an exam, and how hard was it to complete your master's?
Okay, well, no, it didn't happen that I didn't pass an exam, luckily, but that's because I have been studying hard throughout the years. But well, it's not hard if you are prepared. It's not hard. well, in my case, I was coming from Italian university, Bocconi University, which is a really good university, and I think I had like a good academic knowledge at that time, but I think that the structure is well done for students to attend classes and then study right after classes, do their exams, and then enjoying also their holidays in relaxing time. So I think that if there is the right dose of preparation, it's not hard to pass all the exams. If for some reasons you don't pass an exams, you have resit exams that are scheduled for people to resit their exams and complete their degrees.
Don't be too humble, Eduardo. You never fail an exam because you're an exceptional student. That's
No, I'm not. So no, no. Exactly. I studied, but I think that the program is well organized and well structured for students to do all the stuff that they have to do, meaning study, relax, spend time with family, and also prepare for interviews and apply for jobs.
Yeah, I think what matters is the level of engagement. Okay, yeah, so
exactly.
We give you the tools. We give you the tools to succeed. And all the students who show the right level of engagement, they just succeed in the class, and they succeed in building their career as well. So I think, in a sense, this is what Eduardo says. Something that I always insist on with my students, and I did it today. I was teaching the last session of the Introduction to Derivatives class in the M1. I say, think about who you are and what do you want to do in the future, and find the right path, the right career for you. And that is not only about success, that success in your professional life. This is about success in life. And life is larger than professional life. Professional life is part of it, but you have to think in terms of work-life balance. And I think that the courses and the programs may be considered sometimes tough, but with the right level of engagement, there is no reason for you not to find the time to do something else than just studying. Okay, so I think if I want to summarize it this way, I would do it like that.
Thank you both so much. So I see more questions are incoming, and I would start from a very interesting one. A participant is asking if students enrolled in the Masters in Corporate Finance and Banking get to experience any other campuses besides the one in Nice, for example, the one in London or Singapore?
I would say not much, to be honest. These are executive campuses where we are running mostly on those campuses, some executive education, and on top of that, some applied research. So you may know that within EDHEC, there has been the development of a company, in fact, that is related to building indices. And this scientific beta company has been nurtured within the academic part of EDHEC via EDHEC Risk Institute, and has been sold afterward to Singapore Stock Exchange a few years ago to a few, more than a few $1 million, okay? So this is the perspective of those campuses, which doesn't mean that you cannot access the London campus, because we are offering some learning expeditions in London, and specifically this week, we have some students, some from the MSc Corporate Finance and Banking, some from MSc Financial Engineering, some from all the MSCs, that during the end of their period at EDHEC spend a week in London. And they have a few courses in London on our campus, and also they have company visits. So this happens, this is not mandatory, this is not necessarily for every single student.
Thank you so much, Laurent. Okay, so I see some more questions incoming. I saw a couple of questions asking about internship opportunities. For example, any compulsory internships or internships in partnership with any specific companies. Are there any? And if yes, I would like to ask Eduardo if he ever experienced any of these opportunities.
So I start first, maybe Eduardo, if you want, and say, we have corporate sponsors for some of our programs. So for example, Societe Generale is corporate sponsor of corporate finance and banking. They recruit lots of interns in our program, not only in corporate finance, but also in market finance. So I was discussing with the head of the trading floor last week, and well, they're always interested in our students. So we have partners that are offering specific internships, but globally, the Career Center is giving you access to lots of possibilities and positions. They are not giving you these positions, okay? So don't make me wrong. They are giving you opportunities to apply to specific positions, and they are giving you the tools to succeed in these interviews. So you have access to lots of opportunities. Now, it's up to you to make the final step, apply and get successful during the internships, but you are prepared to do so. Now, are internships mandatory? Yes, I tried to make it clear. Within the Master in Management program, you have a internship period that is generally during the first year and the second year of the program, and that you have an internship period that is mandatory to graduate from the program. If you go to the other way, the MSc program, at the end of your education, you have a mandatory period of 4 to 6 months of internship that you have to complete to graduate from the program. So maybe now, Eduardo, if you want to talk about specific opportunities that you may have had or not, that you can say a few words.
Yes, for what concerns my experience, the internships I did were not part of a compulsory scheme, but as Laurent just said, in both the occasions, so both Luxembourg and London, because of all the teachings of the Career Center and the networking events, I reached out to previous employees and EDHEC alumni working both in Luxembourg and in London. And then through the normal application scheme, I applied, and then I succeeded in both of them. But I think that the career centers helped me a lot before the application process.
Thank you both so much for the answer. So I hope that was helpful for prospective applicants looking into the whole value of these programs. So to stay on the topic, I saw a question asking about whether you would consider working part-time, or if it's better to just focus on the studies.
So we said that we've been speaking about work-life balance. I would say that if you add a job on top of the academic year, that's going to be super tough. That's going to be very difficult. So I would not encourage that. Okay, so some students have very part-time activity. Now with online working, some students do a little bit of consulting or support data online up to a point that could be feasible, but that would be tough. More than that, no, definitely. You can't come to the Master in Management if you want to combine that with a full-time job. That I don't think is feasible. But we are offering other programs at EDHEC that are in apprenticeship, but this is a different path. So if you're interested in taking an apprenticeship perspective, don't hesitate to get in touch with the international missions. They will direct you to the right path.
Thank you so much for the information. And to stay on the job topic, a participant is asking which career is the most common after graduating in financial engineering.
That is evolving. The financial industry is evolving, and the kind of careers that our students are embracing after the master is evolving as well. Historically, lots of asset management, quantitative asset management, lots of sales and trading positions. That historically was the case. So in which kind of asset class? Fixed income, FX, derivatives, equity, What else? So you have all these things. Structured product has always been a big recruiter. So lots of students go to structuration, okay? Now, it is moving a little bit more in two directions. First direction, data science, because data science is becoming part of the financial engineering perspective. So data science, and we have been delivering more and more courses in that direction. Eduardo could say a few words about the machine learning courses that he had this year with Dominic O'Kane, and I'm pretty sure that this is something that will make you make this step, because Dominic was he's a doctor in physics, has been working in the financial industry for years, has been writing books, came back to academia, and is now teaching the topics he was working on, and even new topics that are now the core of the financial industry. So I think data, machine learning, this is something that is moving forward. And the other things would be private markets. So we see an evolution from public to private markets, and more students go to hedge funds, private equity, these kind of jobs that after financial engineering were not that. That was not that often that students place themselves in this field, but this is more and more the case. These jobs are paying more and more. We see more and more opportunities there. And so alternative assets, commodities, structured finance, also project finance with a financial engineering perspective. You see, when we're talking about sustainable finance, we're also talking about that kind of things. So this is a new direction that the market is taking. When the industry is taking a direction, well, obviously, we try to follow, if we are not ahead, because I think on some topics we are ahead of the industry. As Eduardo have been saying, we've been ahead of the factor investing perspective for some years. Now the industry caught up, and that's fine. Now maybe we are ahead in terms of climate finance, and the industry will catch up.
Thank you so much, Laurent, for the insight. And I see another question for Eduardo. A participant is asking, what was the biggest challenge you had to face to start your career?
Cool. Thank you for this question. It's a really tough question. I think that pass from the from university from classes through a professional environment, being that a trading desk or an investment banking floor. It's really the most challenging stuff. It was to in a way being able to translate all the knowledge acquired in classes on a day-to-day basis, and being that smart to ask the right questions to the right colleagues, meaning know that there are proxies and established processes at the desk on a day-to-day basis. When you work, that you have to respect and that you have to understand and learn as fast as you can to perform. So I think that this transition and the application itself of the knowledge through the professional environment is the most difficult challenges I had so far in my career.
Thank you so much for the answer. And we do have a couple more questions, mainly about the admission criteria. For example, a participant is asking if the MSc students are mixed with the second year Master in Management students.
Yeah, definitely. This is how it goes. For most of the last year, students sit in the same room together, taking the same classes. Now, at the end of the year, MSc students have an extra period where they stand together, and the MIM students have already finished their education. So now, as Eduardo says, this is end of March. he's going to go to the marketplace in a sense. Now, the MSc students are going to continue their education until the end of June. Okay, so that is a period that we call personalization period that is specific to the 1 year and a half program. But apart from that, they share the same classroom and the same classes.
All clear. Thank you so much. And we have another question for Eduardo. Could you describe your experience during the summer internship, and was it difficult to find one?
In a word, I would say intense. As you probably know, investment banking comes with really tough working hours, and that's an aspect why I decided not to pursue this career. Not the main one, because I'm not interested in that subject, but of course, work-life balance, especially I think in 2023 is really, really important, and mental health as well. It was not that difficult to find one because I applied in the fall of 2021. But again, I think that it's not difficult. It's not that difficult at EDHEC, because if you, as Laurent said, if you put the right level of engagement, you develop the networking capabilities, and you're able to reach out to people, which I would say that is, besides the academic knowledge and capabilities, a real game changer in finding jobs. And that's really, really important. I think, know how to reach out to people, because it can seem like a very damning, stupid thing, like writing a message and talk to people, but it's extremely it's difficult, and you have to work out a lot to develop networking skills.
I think it's difficult to do it the right way. It's easy
exactly.
It's easy to communicate with people, but communicating the right way, so that the probability that people answer to you, then it's harder. And then if you do it the right way, you contact the right type of person with the right tone, with the right type of questions, then you increase a lot the probability of being successful. I'm always thinking in terms of probability, because, well, this is a competitive industry, to be honest. This is competitive. So what we do here is to increase probabilities of success. That's it. Now, it's always up to you as a person to make the last step, the last decisional difference, in a sense, from the employer's perspective.
Thank you both so much for the answers. So I see we still have some questions. Specifically, a participant is asking if there's a limit in the number of students you accept each year.
Yeah, we have a limited capacity, obviously. We are working on a rolling basis. So, well, if you want to be sure that there are still seats open when you apply, the sooner the better, I would say. We not always reach the full capacity every year, but most of the time this is the case. So we run full capacity programs every year. So the capacity is different in the different programs, depending on how many students we consider we should be able to place successfully, depending on the expertise we have, and so on and so forth. So different capacities, but yes, there is a limit to capacity. And so I encourage the candidates to apply as soon as possible, because we are working on a rolling basis.
Thank you so much. So first come, first served. So to stay on the application topic, a participant is asking if you recognize the Cambridge English certifications.
For that question, I would encourage you to ask the admission team. I think they have the answer. I'm not sure. I prefer not to answer this question instead of answering, giving you the wrong answer. So just ask the admissions teams. They are amazing. They are here to help you. They are going to discuss with you. So don't hesitate to ask them questions. This is international admissions at edhec.edu. I think I will show the slide at the end. So don't hesitate to reach them out.
Absolutely. And I just wanted to mention for all participants that are still with us that, of course, they will have all the information required to get in touch with EDHEC. And of course, any questions more on the administrative side that they may have, they will be able to clear those in a separate email or conversation. And just to wrap this up and to focus on the last couple of questions that I'm seeing, a participant is asking if they can do a summer internship and, for example, a 4 to 5 months internship during the master's in corporate finance instead of having just one long internship.
Definitely. The degree requirement is that you have that much internship, then you can split it the way you want. And there are smart ways of splitting the internship period. And this is something that you should discuss with the Career Center. And definitely we encourage students to do, well, the students in the Master in Management, they often do the full suite. They do the spring, the summer, and then the graduate program. Some do so.
Perfect. So that is great news. So to end this on a positive note, and I would say more focused on the future, a participant is asking what's the average salary one can aspire to get in France after a master's at EDHEC.
So I'm not sure I have this granularity to say in France after a master. Depends on the master. Depends on your expertise. Depends on where you go. Okay, so one way to answer this question would be to say, just get a look at the FT ranking. Just get a look at the FT ranking. In the FT ranking, students say how much they got after 3 years period. Okay, so that is public knowledge. So how much do you get after the MSc in financial engineering 3 years after graduation on average? And this is an average. That would be something higher than $100,000 per year, okay? So 3 years after graduation from the MSc Financial Engineering, I can answer comfortably. Now, this is not in France because we have students placed in the UK, placed in the US, placed in Italy, placed in France, placed in continental Europe, also placed in Dubai, placed everywhere around the world, placed in China, placed in India, all over the world. So that would be an average in purchasing power parity, $100,000 3 years after graduation, which I think is pretty competitive. Now, just after graduation, I can tell you, it really depends so much on your field of expertise. Are you going to join M&A? Are you going to join market finance? Are you going to be a financial advisor? What are you going to do? And then the diversity of salaries is just huge, okay, depending on your specific choice. Now, if you join the financial industry in France after having done finance at EDHEC, what I can assure you is that you will be in the top salaries from the French business schools candidates, because we are considered among the top business schools in France. And so if you join, for example, investment banking, they may have salary grids, and you are in the top of the grids if you come from finance at EDHEC. That's it. Now, how much is that going to be? It depends. And it depends also on how successful you will be, because even after graduation, well, that's in market finance, a lot will depend on your bonus, okay? And so if you're highly successful, you may end up with amazing bonus. When I'm discussing with alumni, that's sometimes the numbers that they tell me are just incredible, I would say. This is just incredible for some of them. Not for everyone, depending on where you are, what you're trading, how successful you are. But definitely this is 6 digits. And then, well, what would be the first number? Depends.
Thank you so much, Laurent. Thank you, Eduardo, for joining us. And of course, I think we are ready to wrap this event. We've covered almost all the questions, actually all the questions. And of course, for all the participants that joined us later, you will get an email with the recording of this event, and you will be able to review all the information. You will have access to the presentation, of course. And as I mentioned earlier, all the information to actually get in touch with EDHEC Business School. So once again, I would like to thank you so much for joining us today, and any questions that you may have, you can find more information at edhec.edu, or write an email to the international.admissions@edhec.edu. And yes, I hope everyone is safe and everyone will have a nice day or evening according to where you will join us from. And once again, I would like to thank Laurent and Eduardo for joining us today. If you want to add something, that would be amazing.
Yeah, just thank you, Lavinia. Just a quick one. For those of you who haven't answered questions or for ask question or all this question that may come to your mind, feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn. You will find my email, and it can we can schedule a call or whatever, and I will be happy to answer all the unanswered question.
That is an amazing opportunity.
If you're interested in finance, don't hesitate to apply. That's what I want to say, and I think that this is the right path to success. So looking forward to see you on campus next year. I'd be glad to have you among our students.
Fingers crossed. Thank you all so much, and I hope to see you all hopefully for the next event in partnership with EDHEC. In the meantime, I wish everyone a nice day or evening, and stay safe. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Good evening.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you.